All right, Aries, beautiful pull this week. But it's interesting to me how you're coming around to something that you've done before, but because your perception has changed, it's giving you an opportunity to have fun and to let loose. So from Lay Vampire, Maynard, Madness, Ecstatic Ritual, and Energy Release, and then Perception from Chakra Wisdom. Maynard, like I've always said, is one of my going out and having a good time cards. This one's a little bit different though. This is like being so excited about something that you just need to burst, right? Like all that energy just needs to come out. And it's saying that it's okay now for you to give way to excitement, to let it all loose, to have that energy release, have fun. It's safe to do this. But perception specifically talks about a journey bringing you full circle. And for some, you may be looking at it going, why? Why am I going through this again? But because we're looking at perception, you're looking at the situation totally different this time. You know, it is saying, though, that there is no going back. Going back is not an option. You have to follow through on whatever path you are on right now that may be bringing you full circle, right? To me, it kind of reminds me of the wheel. You know, when I talk about repeating cycles, but an opportunity for better things to happen, that is what these two are. It's about the transformation of the heart, change in perception, and promise of a richer experience as long as you're willing to see your new cycle differently than what it has been before. But because of Maynard being there, I feel like you guys are going to go out and have a blast. All right, Aries. This deck, I'm telling you, it's just as glossy as the Thelema. I feel like I'm like flying cards all over the place. Or flinging cards. Oh my God, if I could talk right. Here's your overall for the week. Yeah, I would say so. I like it. I like it as the overall. Because if you are coming full circle, it's saying, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and leap and see what happens this time. I'm not going to have any preconceived notions of what to expect, right? Having faith in a situation, in a person, and going for it. I like it. I swear to God. You know, I just bought this damn deck, Aries. In the past, the Ace of Wands, and yet again, here it is. So, you know, I feel like this is going to be one of those years for you where the opportunities are just going to keep rolling in, rolling in, rolling in. You know, because I certainly don't feel like this is the same opportunity for everybody, for every reading that this damn card has shown up for. But it's still very much there for you. New passionate beginning, new creative ideas. And with the Fool, I mean, that's perfect, right? Who wouldn't want to leap on that Ace of Wands? And the present, the Seven of Pentacles. Now, you know, I mean, it definitely makes sense with perception being there. So, you know, I don't think that this is about you taking stock. I think that for you, it's looking at possibly starting over. And usually I don't get that from the Seven of Pentacles, but with that Ace of Wands being there, yeah. You know, and I think that now is the time for you to take a leap on a new opportunity, because if you're not seeing what you want, then, you know, I mean, I don't want to say that there isn't a way to continue the growth on the path that you're on now, but, you know, that Ace of Wands indicates something else. To me, this is like, I'm going to start over here. But, you know, it's almost like you don't want to change what you've already amassed, I think is the best way to put it. Like, you know, I've gotten to the 7 here. I still have this opportunity coming through. But, you know, there's still that want there for the growth, the continued growth, seeing more growth, right? But I worry a little bit with the Fool being there. Just because if you move into a place where you're trying to reevaluate a situation, are you going to pass up that Ace of Wands when clearly here it's saying, you know, let's go for this, right? Oh boy. All right, so, and that may be the problem. All right, so the Six of Swords in future conditions. You know, I look at this one and I find this one interesting because you have 2 of the swords here in front of you. Right? So these are the things that you feel like you need to deal with. But did you forget other things? You know, because they're still with you. Are you ignoring something that you haven't taken care of? You know what I'm saying? Like those problems are still there with you, but you're only dealing with a handful of things in front of you right now. Right? I mean, and it doesn't have to be a bad thing, but I just worry about, the baggage that's still being carried with you. I mean, clearly there's some things that have to be thought about, worked out here before you actually start to move on, and I think for you, with the Fool, I want to tell you that you need to go ahead and leap and jump after that Ace of Wands, right? But there's a reason why there seems to be a little bit more caution with doing this, So for me, it kind of cancels out the idea of blind faith in something, because you're reevaluating things and then you move into this place where you need to move on from a difficult situation, And it makes me wonder if for some of you, this isn't something that, whether we're talking about work or relationship here, this is something that I think that in the present moment you've thought about trying to work on or work out, because I still see you looking at, everything you have to show for it. What is the potential growth if I continue doing the things this way, or do I need to just start over? And that Six of Swords to me indicates that, yeah, you're trying to here, but there are other things that you may not be seeing or may not be ready to deal with just yet, right? Oh boy. All right. So your best path to follow, the Eight of Cups. I feel pulled between, wanting to experience something new, wanting to kind of go your own way. But then at the same time, there's something that, clearly you spent a lot of time with here. That's not that easy to walk away from. But with this as your advice, I mean, definitely, I look at this and I think we need to just go into the unknown. Because as long as you're changing your perception on things coming full circle, there's no reason why, things won't be better, as long as you're willing to take the path. But then I also see this and think, don't do this anymore. Don't do this specifically anymore. Don't feed into this. Don't think that this is something that you can somehow make work, because it's not going to give you what you want or what you need, right? If this is a situation that you've been drained by, then what's the point in looking at, what can I do differently to make this work? Because the Six of Swords, like I said, to me that indicates, no, I'm moving on, I'm moving away, or at least you need to. Oh, shit. All right. So in your environment, the Five of Swords, the Seven of Pentacles, yeah. And I don't think that this is about you, because your advice is showing that, especially with what's in the present moment, that you've done everything that you possibly can to make something work. That's what I feel like looking at that Seven of Pentacles and Eight of Cups. But with the Five of Swords being connected to that, I look at this and think that you guys are definitely getting caught up in something that you probably shouldn't. You could definitely have somebody around you that is not happy with, what you're planning on doing now, or what you're thinking about doing. Because I look at the Five of Swords and I think of somebody who is trying to push their agenda onto somebody else, wanting to keep them in their place. You know what I mean? Right? But nobody's winning in that situation at all. But yet you're getting caught up in that kind of argument and being made to think that, you need to start making this work. But with the Eight of Cups being your advice, and here's the thing. If we were looking at this reversed, with the Eight of Cups being here and this being as your best path to follow, the two connected to me would be saying that, maybe somebody thinks that what you're doing is unfair. Like you're walking away from something without even trying, but that's not the case here. I feel like you have. You've tried it and you've tried to make this work for you. But, your advice is saying don't do that to yourself anymore. And certainly don't let somebody stop you from taking a new opportunity and a new path, right? And I feel like looking at all of this that you want to be the Fool, but because of this going on in your environment, you can't. So instead, you're the Six of Swords. But there's still that, faith and that want to just leap into that Ace of Wands. I don't think that Ace of Wands has to do with what you're dealing with right now. I think that this is a new opportunity that is coming back through for you. It's still there. It's still something that you can go after and grab. This is something that you're dealing with currently. So it didn't progress to this. This is something completely different than this. and then what you end up doing or thinking about doing. But this I don't like, you know, but I feel like you guys are getting caught up in it though. Oh boy, your hopes and your fears, the King of Swords. With the Five of Swords and Six of Swords, no. You know, I always get frustrated when I see a core card as hopes and fears, because that means to me that your hopes and fears are surrounding another person and what they may think, what they may say, what they may do. You know, I mean, so with the King of Swords, right, this could definitely be about you dealing with an air sign here, but you know how I feel about that, right? That for me means nothing, because it could be anywhere in somebody's chart. It's a personality, and I don't care if it's male or female here. But clearly there are some things that you're fearing around somebody who I feel like is being ruthless in what they're saying to you. And it's like, and like I said before, it's almost like they're trying to push their agenda onto you when you need to be walking away, you know? And I feel like you get there, but then I also feel like some of you might actually feel bad about this. But that's only because somebody else is putting that on you. Wow, Aries. I don't like him there, though. I mean, definitely a hope would be that, you know, you are thinking clearly about everything, right? Being the thinker, not so much needing to communicate anything here, because I don't see this as communication, right? That's moving away specifically from that shit. You know, but are you dealing with somebody who's trying to prevent it? And then coming out the Nine of Cups, you know, and this is what I'm talking about, especially with Maenad and perception. You get to this place where there is happiness. You feel like, you know, you get to have what you want, especially with the Ace of Wands kicking this off. You know, it's just a matter of having faith in the process, I think, with the Fool being there. You know, but what I worry about is what some of you may be dealing with in the present moment. You know, but with the King of Swords, right, like I said, you know, for you, it could be that the way that this person acts, the way that they communicate may cause a breakthrough for you. But the thing that I worry about, though, is, like I said, when I look at this one, I think that there are still some things that, you know, you're going to have to work on, work out, deal with, you know. It's funny because it has like a Ten of Wands feeling to me mixed with this. Like there's still that weight, that baggage, those things that have to be dealt with. You know, but the fact that you lead out to the Nine of Cups is great. You know, feeling like you have what you want now. Being happy. I don't think this is about being careful for what you wish for. I think it's, you know, you actually get to be happy. And then the Knight of Cups. You know, I mean, I look at that and I think, yeah, there could be an offer coming through. Absolutely. But then I also feel like for you, it's like, especially with the Fool being there and looking at the Six of Swords, like, fuck it, I'm going to follow my heart. The problem is that there may still be some things that have to be dealt with. The Devil. I certainly don't think that that Ace of Wands has anything to do with the Devil. I think that the Devil is the reason why it's still the past coming through and why it hasn't been taken advantage of, because there's something else that is like keeping you down, right? You know, Capricorn, yeah, but you know, like I said, right? With the Devil, you're talking about things that have power over you, but you're allowing this to happen, you know? And is it because that this situation was comfortable for you? Because clearly you spent a lot of time with this, you know? Now, looking at the Two of Wands, again, we're talking about acting on plans here, but you can't, you know, look at your world and think, well, I could take this opportunity, or I could try to make things work in a really shitty situation. You know, you can't do that. You have to be open to the other possibilities if you get to create what you want. But you also have to act on that, right? And start making different plans, especially with you knowing that the Devil is what is preventing that Ace of Wands from coming through, whatever it is or whoever it is that has control over you. With the Knight of Cups, you know, again, offer, right? But then fuck it, I'm going to follow my heart. There may be some details, I feel like, that may have to, you know, be looked at. I think that, you know, the best case scenario here is that you're kind of dealing with it little bit by little bit as you're moving on, as you're making the most of the new offer, new beginning that's coming through, right? I see it as a good thing. I just don't like what some of you may be dealing with right now, because I think that there's a part of you that thinks that you need to like stop and make something work that isn't making you happy and hasn't been for a while. Woo, Aries. But, you know, I'm hopeful, though, because I look at Maynard and perception and think, like, you know, that there's like this breakthrough in the way that you're viewing things. And there's more excitement, you know? I mean, with the Nine of Cups, the Knight, and then the Six of Swords, I don't see that as a bad thing, especially with the Fool being there. I just think that, you know, whatever or whoever you're dealing with is causing more conflict than what's necessary for you, you know? Because I have a hard time seeing Aries being held down by a person or a situation. But unfortunately, sometimes that may be the case. And it may be because of financial reasons, with that Seven of Pentacles being there. You know, or security and stability. Oh my God, I'm going to shut up now.